Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the EU. This idea of the EU started, I forget precisely, but in the years after World War II, after the Iron Curtain began descending upon Eastern Europe, I think Germany, France, Italy, those three, came up with the EU in order to act as one, a bulwark against Soviet expansionism, and two, a prevention method against ultranationalism, which in part caused the last Great War of Europe. It has served that purpose. Russia is no longer a threat, though Brussels and Berlin would say otherwise, and so would any left-leaning economic or political voice would say. Now, am I a Russian sympathizer? No. I find Putin to be a interesting leader, and in a Western civilized democracy, he would be deplorable. But considering the quality of Russian leaders, Ivan the Terrible, Lenin, Stalin, Khrushchev, he's alright. Much better than those four. Now, on the fact of the EU's current situation, Brexit, the EU they can't fight Theresa May on that. It's going to leave, and using the Commonwealth, she gets a good deal, either with a deal with the EU or no deal at all. Le Pen and Frexit. Now, the Frexit idea is a good one in my opinion. It would allow Le Pen to deal with the migrant crisis to France itself and the terrorism of France on its own, rather than having Junkers and or Merkel stop Le Pen at every single turn. But Le Pen would have a lot more problems than May. Italexit I don't really know about. The Netherlands and probably the rest of Europe is a lot like Italy and the Netherlands at the moment. Thinking about it, open to the idea, but fearful of what would happen. Because every single time in Europe that nationalism has become a popular movement, bloodshed and war inevitably follows. The Balkan Wars, my mistake, the Yugoslav Wars, the Great War, World War II, and to an extent this Ukraine thing that has settled down recently. Yes, nationalism, when it is radicalized, like anything, if it's radicalized, is violent, causes suffering, and sometimes ends in war. That doesn't mean that nationalism or any of these other isms are a bad thing. But it must be tempered, moderated. That is my overarching political view. That people should have uncontrolled freedom as long as there are oversights in place that cannot be touched or modified other than modernizations. A perfect example is actually the way the US government seems to be transitioning into. Shrinking down to its constitutional size and no bigger, which would allow for a free market. This is what I believe is the future of the EU. A free market where little cliques are born, with which I'd rather not get into my hypothetical names for because it would just be speculation. I do hope that the world and Europe continue this great peace since the last Great War, But at the moment, the EU might cause ultranationalism that might cause a third Great War.